Hi guys, welcome to this video. So in this video I'm going to be going over what I did to patch the hole in the Mirror Dinghy. This isn't a tutorial, it's just kind of like what I did. Also, if I got anything wrong, don't yell at me too loudly in the comments because it is my first time doing anything like this. So anyway, let's get on with it.
Just a quick warning, the footage you're about to see proves that you should not get your brother to be a cameraman. Well, he didn't film all of it, but he did film most of it.
So I've been speaking with my Uncle John and we've devised a plan about how to sort out this hole. What we're basically going to do is use this fiberglass and put a sheet that goes inside here and then one that goes here as well on the outside, so we're sort of sandwiching the wood in between. So what I'm going to do is put some of this tape over this bit here, and then I'm going to cut out a bit of this fiberglass and put it on here and epoxy it here on top of the tape. So because this bit of hole here is a similar shape to this bit, so it's going to be sort of molded to this, so I'm going to use this bit as a mold, and then I can put that bit inside after it's dried, after it's hardened. Then I can put that bit inside and epoxy it up underneath here, and I'm gonna make a little hole in it so I can attach like something, I don't know, a string or something to keep it up there whilst the epoxy holding it to the wood dries. And then I'm gonna get another sheet and put it over the outside here. So hopefully that's gonna be a good fix. I've never done anything like this before, so I've no idea if it's gonna work, but hopefully it will. Right, so I've cut out this bit of cardboard. I'm going to put this in here and then I'm going to draw the... You'll see. So I'm going to put this in like this. I'm going to get it in the right position. Push it as far this way as I can because there's like a bulkhead here, so I can't push it very far. And then I'm going to draw around where this hole is. Okay. Now I've got this. And I know I can only push it this far this way. I literally only have this much because I don't know if you can't really see, but in here there's a bulkhead just there, so I can't push it any further that way. And then I can push it. I can push the fiberglass that much this way before it starts heading back down this way. I don't know if this makes sense at all, but you'll understand it in a bit. Now I have the hole cleaned up and this sort of template thing made. I'm going to cut out the right shape of the fiberglass. So I'm just going to draw around this. Alright, there we go. This little step-in bit here is because there's actually a beam that is just here. I suppose, yeah, it's a sort of beam thing, a support that sticks out further, but it doesn't go all the way up. So I made this bit. This is where the beam goes, basically. Right. So now I mark this out. I'm gonna cut it. Right, so this piece, after it's hardened with epoxy, it's going to be going inside here. Now I'm going to tape this bit here with this parcel tape so that it doesn't stick whilst I'm trying to just use that bit as a mould. Okay, so I'm going to mix up the epoxy now. I'm using West Systems 105 epoxy resin and the 205 hardener. So it's a 5-to-1 mix, 5 parts the resin and 1 part the hardener. So I'm just going to use the scales to weigh it. I don't know exactly how much I'm going to need, so I'm just going to kind of, see what happens. So I think to start with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 200 grams of this and 40 of the hardener, because I believe that's the 5-to-1 ratio. So I'm going to do that to start with, because I don't think I'm going to need more than about 200 grams. So. Well, we'll see, I may do. Actually, let's only do 100 to start with. So 100 divided by 5 is 20. That means I need 20 grams of this. There we go. And then we mix it up for 2 minutes. Right, I'd say that'll do. Now, grab my brush that I don't mind getting rid of. So now I'm just going to soak this, and then I'm going to leave it here on this bit so that it molds to the right shape. Right, so I left this all day and it's totally hard now, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just take this knife underneath here. Come on. And then I can just... Sorry for the handheld shake, but just take this bit off. And then... Nice. So now... This should be able to go just in there like this. I'm not going to do that now because it's dark, and I kind of don't want to do it now. But I'll do that later. What I can do is drill a hole in it so I can put the bit of string through to hold it up. Right, so now I've got this so I can hold it up underneath here. I might do another hole over here and maybe another one here to really help hold it up there so it really bonds well to it. But I'm pretty happy with that so far. So now what I think, I'm not going to do it now, but tomorrow probably what I'll do, cut out another bit to go. So first off, bond this up against underneath here. Oops. And then cut out another bit to slot in here. And then also cut out a bit that will go over the top. Next I sanded the hole so the epoxy could bond really well. Then it's time to clean off all the dust. And so after that, me and my cameraman were pretty tired, so we decided to go inside to get an ice cream, and look, a parcel arrived. I wonder what it is. It was some gloves. They're going to come in handy in a minute. Anyway, now on with the ice cream. It is nearly March, so I think we are allowed ice cream now. I hope Mum agrees with me anyway. For the first bit of epoxying I had some really rather nasty gloves that were really baggy, so good thing I don't have to use them anymore. I can use these nice tight gloves. Although I was really annoyed at them by this point because what I'm doing right now should be very satisfying, but it's completely unsatisfying. So I was a bit annoyed about that. And then I thought, oh yes, I'm going to be able to pull this out of the, box, and it's going to be very, very nice. And I was pulling and they just weren't coming out. I thought it was going to be really satisfying, but it just wasn't. Anyway, I did finally manage to get them out, and they are actually quite nice to wear. So. Also, my brother seems to have a habit of using the phone in portrait mode and not landscape mode, so I apologise for that. Anyway, let's pour this new batch out and mix it up. So you can see the epoxy on the underside of the thing. We appear to be missing a video of me putting the epoxy on the underside of the hole, but I did do that. And here I'm putting the epoxy on the fiberglass thing. I'm putting epoxy on both the underside of the hole and the top side of the piece that I'm putting onto it. And then what I do is I leave them for like 15 minutes. So they're sort of tacky, and then stick them both together, and that seems to work quite well. Right, so now I left the epoxy to go tacky for 15 minutes, not tacky, like sort of sticky-ish, slightly hard, for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to stick them both together. As you can see, we tied more strings to it to pull up all the corners, and then we tied that to a beam in the ceiling. And that actually did a pretty good job of holding it up underneath in the boat. And then as you can see, I just added a bit more epoxy to the corners that I thought needed a bit more. And then I decided that some of the corners actually needed to be packed out even more, so I just wetted some like offcuts that I had of the fiberglass and just stuffed them in the corner to pad it out. Over the next little bit, Wilf was helping quite a lot, so we didn't really film that bit, but basically I just packed out some of the corners slightly more, but I didn't do much. Then we just pulled it tight with the strings and left it overnight. So it's the next day and I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. I can't get this string back out, so I'm just going to have to cut it off above here and either just let it fall in, or when I put the next layer on, epoxy it up, but probably I won't do that. Probably I'll just let it fall in. But yeah, this one obviously I can't, it's stuck there. But
maybe Will's not the only bad cameraman. What a beautiful shot of my hand. Anyway, I finished removing those and started cutting out the next layers to go on top of the patch thing. Anyway, after I'd cut those bits out, I sanded the original piece that we put there so that it would bond nicely. Then I mixed a new load of epoxy. And then I started laying the pieces that I had just cut out. So in total, there was 4 layers of fiberglass. There was the bottom layer that I originally molded. Then there was 2 layers in the middle to be the same thickness as the plywood, and then there was 1 over the top. So when I was doing the 2 middle pieces, I just put them on top of the one that was underneath, and then just wet them out with epoxy and put the next one on. So I painted the bit around the hole with epoxy, the bit that was going to be underneath the big sheet of fiberglass that was going to be over the top of everything. Then I cut out a bigger piece and laid it on top. Then I made sure there was plenty of epoxy on that, and yeah, that was all good. I don't think I actually have any video of when it's finished. So here's this beautiful out of focus picture. Don't tell anyone, but I actually think it was me who took the picture. Right, so after I'd finished, I left it overnight, and then the next day I came back and sanded it so it was a bit smoother, and also I rounded off the forward edge so it would not protrude so sharply from the hole. Anyway, last video I asked you guys which intro you preferred, and most people said they preferred the old one, so probably you noticed we went back to the old one in this video. I'm happy about that. I think I agree with that. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. If you found this useful at all, make sure to like the video, it helps me out, and subscribe because it's absolutely free and there's literally no point in not doing it.